Howdy, flow leaders. So this quicker video is designed to teach you, if you weren't involved with the training or the testing, how to review applications for your flow, which is really, really important because it works very different because it's all digital. So you've never done this before. So it's important that you watch this video to know how it's going to work. More importantly, though, is that you talk with your flow leaders and learn what justifies different scores, right? So again, make sure to talk to your flow leaders about this and do not start doing this process until you have learned from them how they want you to score. But I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. Okay, just as a reminder, if you have not been to the FLAC website, flac.tamu.edu will automatically redirect you to this about page. But this is the cover page for everything. If you want to find a place where you can go and subscribe to the FLAC YouTube channel, do that because then you'll be notified of when the live streams start, all those kind of things. And then you can send that out on your social medias to increase people going to it to then learn more about your flow. Please, please, please do that. Also, if you would like to know where the meet and greet information, all that kinds of stuff, you can click on the schedule tab as well as the schedule overall. So these are all your meet and greet links. These are the Zoom links and then your informationals on the bottom, which will flop the order of these once we get past the meet and greets. Also, it's important to know that applications open on the 17th during the before actually the live stream. So that way, if there's any testing and stuff, we can do that. But then applications are due Sunday, September 13th. It's an online submission. What is important to note is do not start reviewing applications Sunday the 13th. If people have turned it in, it's not going to change. You can go in and you should go in and start reviewing applications starting once you are trained by your flow, which should be in advance of you even doing informationals. If you're starting to get applications, go on and start scoring, because otherwise you will have an inundated process on the back end. Most flows have chosen to have where every application needs to be seen by 3 people. In most years, most flows get a couple hundred applications, so you're going to times that by 3, right? Because it needs to be reviewed by 3 people. So make sure to start go in early. They just will not find out their interviews until the 17th, and they'll be able to sign up the 17th and 18th for whatever interviews they're having, as well as over that weekend, because interviews start the next week. Okay, so I wanted to make sure you know that. So where you're going to go to, where freshmen are going to go to apply, they can go here, click apply. There's going to be the link here. There's also a video on telling them how to apply, which it's a very easy system, y'all. But just in case they really, really, really want detailed information, this video will provide that for them. So if you want to see how the application looks, how they go through it, watch that video. Goes live noon on Monday. But so there's going to be a link here where they can go to apply. It's not there yet because applications are not open. But where they're going to go, and this site is not live yet, so you're going to see stuff, but it's not accepting applications. Getinvolved.tamu.edu. That's what we're looking to have them do. Get involved. And so they'll go over here, join a flow. I want to acknowledge, I put this in a GroupMe message on Saturday. But yeah, these things are here. Your flows are currently working on them. Today is Sunday. These have to be finalized by today. Do not, under any circumstance, go in and you can click this. You can do that. But there's going to be, once the applications are live, a apply now button. Don't click that. Because then what's going to happen, it's going to pull your information from Howdy, and all of a sudden you'll be an applicant in your flow. Don't do that, because then your flow and IT are going to have to clean up the back end to clear you out of the system. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. If there's some reason you need to see your application, have your chief student leader reach out to myself, Madeline, and we'll work with IT. Okay, go back. So where you'll go is you'll click login up here. I am not going to do that because this is not live, so there are no applications. So I'm actually going to go over to the demo site, which is demogetinvolved.dsasites.tamu.edu. Some of you are still listed in here if you want to like show this off to your other counselors, things like that, of here's how applications work, but you're going to do that by this video anyway. You're going to click login. Ignore this down here because this is all fake. You'll log in with Howdy stuff, including Duo, so make sure you have your Duo with you. Okay. Give it a second to load. It's validating that I am me. So again, don't click down here because it's going to be the flows. So don't do that. So let's go back. Up here, you're going to have most likely, because most of you are not admins or lead reviewers, so you will not have this button, but you have this profile button. So I'm going to go profile. And you're going to see if you have followed all the steps that have been communicated out and we've sent a list and your lead reviewers have checked over your list within the back end. So if you do not see something here and you're supposed to be a reviewer, talk to your chief student leader. You're going to click view reviews. So each of the flows is considered a position, actually. So for here, because this is a testing site, I have access to multiple reviews. So you'll see one here, whatever your flows thing is, as long as you are listed as a reviewer again. So what's important to know is there's a position number. You can ignore that. There's also when it closes. This means when all of the reviews must be done. Like, system's just going to shut off on you if you haven't finished your reviews. So when they have to be done. This is not the actual date. Again, this was a testing platform. So let me go over here. Let me go to SAD. Actually, I don't think I've done any on this one. Okay, so this is what you'll see if you haven't done a review yet. So you've got the position, you've got the review term, right? It says I've completed 0 reviews and that the review process is currently open. So what I want to do is we call this the hit me button. If it's like you're playing poker or blackjack, you're like, give me another one. So begin reviewing an item. So what this is doing, it's going in the database, finding an application, and then it's pulling that application and sending it to me. It's assigning it to me as a reviewer within the system. So what you notice, there's a lot of stuff here. So first of all, it says reference member number up here. That is because you will not see who the person you are reviewing is. This is a blind application process. So that way you're able to focus in on the content they're providing you with. So with that being said, your rubric up here might be different. A lot of flows have just one question. Please rate the quality of this candidate, yada, 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 on a 0 to 5, 0 to 10, those kind of things. Some have it where it's like, rate me on creativity, the quality of the application, and the fit. And so if you notice, creativity is on 0 to 5, quality of the application is on 0 to 10. That means that quality of application is weighted double of creativity. So that's what it is. So some of you in the past had a 0 to 5 scale with like half points. You just have then double the scale because it can't do half points. What's important to know is that your score. So if you click, like creativity is a 3, let's say, after you've read through this, right? You got a little check mark saying that score is entered. And then let's say I go through and the quality of this application is a 6, and the fit though is a 1. Just some of the stuff they said just doesn't seem to vibe. So I've now got a 3, 6, 1. That's a 10. So what it's going to do is it's going to put in your score. My score is a 10 for this person. So let's say again that it requires 3 people to score the application, and one person scores them at a 10, one person scores them at a 4, and another person scores them at a 6 overall for some reason. So you've got 20 total. It's going to divide that number by 3. And so that will be what their score is of that candidate. And your lead reviewers will be able to then see how the scores broke out for each person. Another way you might have this is some flows have it where you have a score per question. So if you notice as I scroll, the rubric stays up here. So you can just scroll, okay, question 2, and question 2, let's say this is question 2, and I can score that one. You've got some other stuff up here that I won't need to draw your attention to before you would click submit. Let's say you see something in here that's concerning. So some flows ask questions like, please tell me about an emotional time or impactful experience on you, yada, yada, yada. About every 2-ish years, we get a couple applications that choose to disclose, which thankful they're very comfortable in disclosing this, but choose to disclose things such as child abuse, sexual abuse, suicidal ideation in the past, those kind of things, which is really, really sad to hear. If you come across that, it's very important we get that person's support, and that you immediately pick up the phone and call your chief student leader, who must then get in contact with FLAC, because that is something outside your scope, and we want to make sure you're supporting that student. Additionally, there's a red flag button here. We want you to click this button and write in what you're flagging it for. Even if what we recommend, if they put something, maybe copy it and paste it into the flag and make a note that, hey, I called my student leader on this day and time. So this should not be the only way that your chief student leader is learning about it. This should be the redundant, essentially tracking that you let them know. Thank you for doing that in advance if it happens to come up, and thank you for looking to help the freshmen. Okay, so let's say you're going through and you hit the hit me button. This all loaded up, and you're like, darn, my friends need me to hop on a Zoom call to study for this thing. I need to get back to this application later. So here's the problem. As long as this application is assigned to you, so let me click save and exit. As long as this application is assigned to you, it's going to be an active review. So if you want to open up a couple to also see how the applications look before you start scoring them, you can do that. So if you're like, I want to look at a couple applications to see the quality of applications of what my expectations should be, right? You can do that. But it also means it's still assigned to you, and it won't get assigned to, let's say 2 people have already scored it, then you're the score that's waiting. And if you're getting close to that deadline time, what you absolutely want to do then, and if you're not going to be able to score it right then, go into it and you're going to click skip. And you're going to be like, hey, just don't have time. Had to run for a meeting, whatever. And you'll skip it. What that means is that it's going to go to the end of the list for you, but could go to somebody else in the meantime. So let's say you happen to keep going through applications. You could see that application again when you're in a more of the mode and have the time to schedule to do the reviews. But let's say you're reading through and somebody discloses something like they're from your high school, or you realize it might be a sibling, all those kind of things, or there's just some other conflict of interest. You want to click this button. It's to recuse yourself from it. If you notice, now a note is required, and you need to put in why you're recusing yourself. The difference between this and the skip, I said the skip could make that application come back to you randomly at some point. Recuse, you will never see this application as a reviewer again. You won't see it again. And that's important because if you're recusing yourself, you don't want to see that application again because, again, there was a conflict of interest. So you shouldn't see that application again. So now you might be wondering, okay, but Bruce, you told me that I won't see their name. I won't see any of those kind of details. I'm focusing on the content, but then how do I know I have a sibling or somebody from my high school that I know is applying or some other conflict of interest? That's fine. What's really nice is on the back end, the lead reviewers have already been taught how to go in, and if you let your lead reviewers know, hey, just look out for this application, just in case I inevitably score that one by accident, they can recuse on your behalf. So that way your score would not count for that person, and you essentially wouldn't see it, and or if you happen to have scored it, that would just eliminate your score and somebody else will be able to review it, and you will not see that application come by again as well. So it's a really cool system that's built in for this. It's really, really cool. Okay, so let's say you're done. This is the score you're giving, or you came back to it and you're like, actually, that's a 2. Check mark, good to go, submit. It doesn't submit by clicking submit. It reminds you, okay, this is the score you're putting in. Is this what you want? Because you will not be able to edit it again. Finalize. Got a little green check mark in there. And now it says I have completed reviews. So when you're then doing later, trying to decide, okay, who should get into your flow, I recommend you have this portal up in front of you. And what's going to be nice is your lead reviewers will be able to go, okay, well, this person and this person are on the cutoff. This is their member number. Can you look at how you scored them, like the breakout? And so you could just pull it up and then see again. If you notice, it's grayed out, meaning you can't edit it, but you can see what your scores were and what their application was. Cool. Thank you for going through this process. If you have any questions on the reviewing side of things, please make sure to reach out to FLAC. So myself, Madeline, and Marley, we thank you for everything you're doing. Again, do not wait to the last minute to start scoring things. start scoring soon, so that way you can make sure to get them done. And what's important to know is your lead reviewers also will have a track record of how many you've scored and how many you've skipped. So it's really important that you pull your weight and make sure to only skip when needed. Okay? Thank you so much.